Well, this is Gene KF, and wanted to give my testimony about my pastor, Pastor Charles Dowell Jr. of Straitway Ministries. Pastor Dowell, I met him almost 4 years ago, and very kind. I met him through there's a topic that we discuss on a regular basis, and a biblical topic, and I was one of the leaders of a group. And we just kind of, I don't know how we reached out to each other, but we found each other. And always very kind, very polite, very courteous, very gentle spoken. And he asked me about Sabbath and unclean foods. And I'm like, that's all that stuff's done away with, right? Then he let it go. He's like, all right, well, look it up, see if I'm right. And what's funny was I didn't look it up. Then we kept talking, and about once a month we'd talk. And of course, the topic of spiritual faith and the Bible came up, and so he asked me a question again. Hey, did you look up that topic? He didn't push it. He wasn't pushy. None of that. And I didn't look it up. Then after 2 years, this man is patient beyond measure. Gosh darn it. 2 years. I finally got sick and tired of having him ask the same stupid question because I didn't give him the time of day because I'm a Christian, right? I don't need no stinking Hebrew Israelite telling me where, and, but he was always kind. And I was always respectful to him too, but I disagreed with him, right? I didn't have any reason to disagree with him. I just did because of my upbringing and tradition. So finally I got sick and tired of telling him, no, I didn't look it up, or no, I just, what about this verse? And he was very articulate. And I'm like, I'm going to prove this guy wrong. Because I studied apologetics. I studied all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm going to prove this guy wrong. And I spent 2 days, and I just dove into it for 2 days straight. Got done, and I was like going, we're supposed to be keeping the Sabbath. And if we're supposed to be keeping the Sabbath, or we're supposed to be keeping clean foods. And I even told him, I says, I'm a Gentile. He goes, no, you're Israel. I'm like, I appreciate the comment because I knew what that meant to him. But he has insight beyond insight. When I have never once had that man ask me for $1. In fact, he is, when I've made trips to see him, he's like, you know what, we'll get you something for that, your trip. And, because I spoke on a certain topic. Never asked me for a dime. Not even once. In fact, he always, and I mean always, was the better man. He really was. He always made sure that I was taken care of, regardless. When I came up and I made expenditures, he made sure to cover me in excess. One time, he gave me 3 times what it would have taken, just general expenses to get up. Plus they housed me and they fed me, and damn good food. And the wives of these men, it's actually the thing that actually turned me around after I understood that you're supposed to keep the Sabbath. And I'm like, if women can act this honorably and obey their husbands like they should biblically, and they're angelic. I mean, they look angelic. They got this spirit about them. It's just beyond measure. I actually became a Hebrew Israelite. I confess that I needed to keep the laws of Yah, but I will tell you this much: never once no one ever was mean to me, unkind. In fact, the contrary. Every person at Straitway has been kind and respectful and honorable. And I can't tell you that I've seen that in 25 years of being a Christian. Pastor Charles Dowell is a man, I've never met another man like him outside of Straitway. I've never met a pastor so good at articulating and so loves holiness. I guess some people are saying some crap about him. I'm here to tell you, after 4 years of knowing this man, never asking me for a dime, always being the better man, always willing to, if I put forth the effort, he put forth 10 times the effort and the resources. I couldn't outdo that man if I tried. And he loves like no. I have sat with him and spoken with him, and that man loves like literally with his heart, mind, soul, and strength, loves Yah and loves people. And he doesn't stand for foolishness, but damn, if you're willing to give a little effort, he'll give you 10 times more. And that is the man I've come to know as Pastor Charles Dowell Jr. And so for all those people who are naysayers and all that kind of stuff, you don't know the man. All you that have listened to him on YouTube and saw his preaching, I'll give you one word of advice. Actually, 2 words of advice. Get a pen and paper. Watch his sermons and listen to what he says, not how he says it. And I've talked to people, oh, he's just boisterous and, this and that. I'm like, yeah, he comes across that way, doesn't he? But you would not hold begrudgingly a man who stutters if he was telling you the truth, giving you wisdom. A man's loud and boisterous, you're going to hold that against him? I think you have more of a problem with the truth than you do anything else. So if you do yourself a favor, listen to what he says, not how he says it, write it down, and then review it. And if he's telling the truth, you've got some responsibility ahead of you. If he's lying, then you can dismiss him. But that man follows Yah, and boy, he sets the example of grace, of mercy, of strength, of endurance. You can't get that kind of man. I have yet to find a man like that. So, I mean, my father was probably the closest thing I ever had to an example like that. And Pastor Dowell even exceeds him. And that's saying a lot. So, from this Hebrew Israelite to you, that is my testimony of Pastor Charles Dowell. Shalom.